One of the few games I have not played in years. Primal Rage was from my old PS2 days. And it's a shame that the second game was supposed to have that. It got canceled. But today we got 5 monsters that are going up against this verse. And we actually are going to rank them from worst off in the verse to best off in the verse. And obviously someone here is going to be over the tier. But whatever. How strong is this verse in general? Now keep in mind each monster does have their own powers and abilities, and I won't really be able to get into all of them, but no, some of them do manipulate fire, ice, lightning, death. Yeah, some of these guys have magic, and they all have telepathy. But they're not able to like really control people. But as for the tier of the verse, keep in mind everything they do pretty much revolves around the planet. So everyone's able to like torch the surface of the world, which is like multi-continental, and then people are like shaking the planet casually. Then you have those that can just get stronger, which would easily put them at a planetary level. As even characters like Armadon have been able to basically shake the planet by just punching another monster. And keep in mind, every monster here is also relatively to each other. Now, another thing is speed. These monsters should easily be into the massively hypersonic to likely the relativistic ranges, because we do have monsters that apparently can cross dimensions according to the novelization, with characters like Necrosan being able to fly through entire dimensions within an instant. Then we also have characters that can simply just react to teleportation with absolute ease, which is instantaneous movement essentially. So believe it or not, each of these monsters all have their own powers and abilities which are capable of affecting the entire planet on a global scale and even shake it to its core, which again would be a planetary feat. Each monster also has a form of martial arts or hand-to-hand combat in a way, and in all honesty, they're just brutal. Like, the absolute combos you could do in this game is absolutely wild. But without further ado, let's begin. And today we have Lunagaren, Gorgo and Ogra, Hulk, Ursafu, and the Ice Titan. Now, each of these guys is going to be ranked from worst off to best off. So without further ado, let's begin with our first one. Now, I know what y'all saying. What you mean the Ice Titan is the worst off? Here, now, hear me out. The Ice Titan has the strength, durability, and the hacks potency to be able to run the fade with any monster on this list, okay? He can fight all of them. Now, it's easy to get the Ice Titan to planetary because he does scale relative to the King Titan. He's actually the only Titan that seems to be relative or at least closer to the levels of the King Titan. With the King Titan, again, I know we're going to have the Arc Down players, but y'all already know how it is. With the Ice Titan, or the King Titan, excuse me, being able to not only stop the planet's rotation, but literally destroy its entire atmosphere, which is why he's able to have meteors come to the planet with absolute ease. So with that being said, here we also have the fact that the Ice Titan is also able to breathe ice and even manipulate it through physical means. He could freeze you with a punch, he could simply blast you with his ice breath as well, and he has incredible leaping capabilities. Now, why am I saying the Ice Titan struggles if he has all this good stuff, right? And again, this is going to be the absolute pinnacle of this. Not only is it skill, right, but it's also speed. The Ice Titan, or some of the most, if not all, the Arc creatures have the attack potency to decimate a lot of characters, but they don't have the speed. Now, if we actually lowball these monsters to the hypersonic margin, then yes, the Ice Titan could at least tag them, albeit it is rather hard to say how, he'll be able to tag them, considering the sheer fact that the Ice Titan can be outsped and outmaneuvered by like wyverns and other, flying based dinosaurs. Now, in order for like light speed scaling in Arc, you would have to say he's capable of tagging the void worms and astrocetuses, which are capable of moving through space as if it was nothing. Like, it's just a natural habitat in ocean to them just to live in space. And believe it or not, we can also get these monsters higher with their teleportation, and their instantaneous movement. So it's not looking too good for the Ice Titan. Now, if he had some speed feats that actually got him into a more consistent margin, into the light speed or relativistic margin, he would definitely be able to hold his own, if not be very comfortable in this verse. But unfortunately for him, all of these monsters are able to not only outspeed him, but being able to outmaneuver him, outskill him, and just utterly beat him down. He's durable and strong enough to last, but again, his worst advantage or his worst disadvantage here is going to be that speed. It's going to hold him back continuously. Now, if the Ice Titan was like, FTL and stuff like that when it came to like combat. Now, next one off here is Lunagaren. Believe it or not, yeah, Lunagaren is doing a lot better than the Ice Titan. It's a lot more lethal, a lot more agile, and it's definitely capable of keeping up with the speed of, a large majority of these monsters here, considering the fact that the hunter itself would scale to Garuba Deora, and even the likes of Kushal Deora, who actually utilize light in their attacks. So again, there is relativistic to even FTL like of scaling, which these monsters would easily scale to. And considering the fact that Lunagaren is an Elder Dragon level monster, I don't want to hear any arguments about that. And also, yes, Garen Golem is an Elder Dragon level monster as well. He was supposed to have a turf war. And again, the entire story depicts that these three would constantly fight each other for supremacy, with Malzeno always being the one to come out on top. So again, there is some relativistic to a Apex Elder Dragon, which Malzeno pretty much is. He is an Apex Elder Dragon in the same tier as Nergigante, even being above Risen Elder Dragons, which are amped up Elder Dragons. Okay? So, with that being said here, yeah. Lunagaren, I would actually say, doesn't struggle too much, but there is going to be a stark difference in one thing. That is skill. You see, Lunagaren is a skilled predator. There's nothing, to say about that. He's easily one of the most skilled and even one of the more intelligent fanged wyverns in the verse, if not one of the most skilled predators in the verse as well. However, being skilled in more animalistic based combat isn't like skilled in martial arts based combat. These monsters in, Rampage know like actual martial arts and apply it to their combat system. So imagine having a creature that fights more instinctual than a creature that fights more tactical, if you get what I mean. And yes, Lunagaren can increase its durability, it can increase its, power as well by even utilizing its razor claws, which actually inflict bleed damage, as I stated in my Ogra versus Lunagaren video. Lunagaren's claws are made to slash and bleed its opponent out. And considering the sheer fact that it does seem to know some type of fighting form, he's not entirely doomed when it comes to a hand-to-hand fight. It's just that the creatures in Primal Rage simply just have a higher skill level than he does. However, I don't think Lunagaren struggles as bad because he does have the speed, he does have the attack potency, and he does have the necessary hacks and abilities to be able to keep up with a large majority of these Primal Rage characters. So, believe it or not, I definitely think Lunagaren does deserve a passing score, albeit I do think it would be interesting to see how he and Blizzard actually go toe-to-toe with each other. Imagine the Frost Wolf going up against the Frost Yeti or the Frost Ape or whatever, and they're just causing like a whole snowstorm during the whole event, right? So, in all honesty, I would actually say Lunagaren does do pretty well. Just that the martial arts or the skill factor is just going to be a bit much for him to really overcome, but not too much to where that he's pretty much helpless. But let's move on to the next monster. Alright, now on to the third best one. Well, technically, third best duo in my opinion, this being Gorgo and Ogra. Now, if you guys have not seen them on this channel before, I do apologize. I have not done them too much justice. I know I made a survival video with them if they could survive in Skull Island, I believe, but nevertheless, these guys are easily in the planetary margin, and this is because I am using the more comic version or comic variants of them. So these guys are able to take weaponry from an alien race that were known to just vaporize and melt entire planets. Keyword being vaporize and melt. Imagine having enough firepower to literally melt an entire planet. That might get higher in terms of scaling. It's very possible you could put that at a large planet, maybe even dwarf star level, because being able to just like vaporize an entire planet does kind of elevate the status. And then melting one, I'm not even sure how that would even go. Like, what's the attack potency for melting an entire planet? Please let me know down below. I'm just saying. But with that being said, we do have the fact that these guys would easily be FTL as well. And, well, in all honesty, this gets them a good place in the verse. I'm not even kidding. The fact that they already have the attack potency to harm a large majority of these monsters, and then the speed to not only keep up, but likely surpass them as well. They would definitely do just as well as Odogaron, but the fact that it's a 2 against 1 definitely helps. Plus, their intelligence is pretty high, as they also understand like complex plans, can form strategies, and in all honesty, they're pretty much unfazed by a lot of things in the verse. And when I actually think of like rivalries they could have, I could definitely see something similar to like Sauron or Diablos being like their actual enemies and stuff like that. And believe it or not, I don't think that would be like a bad thing in my opinion. I just think that it just be the most common thing. I mean, you have a more melee orientated Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, I do think the skill level of these monsters is definitely going to be a problem, but not so much of a problem that they'll be like, stressed out. I mean, these monsters can just like, do the whole Robin double knee drop. They can grapple, throw, suplex, and just kind of tear out of each other. So I think Sauron would be a very interesting one, especially if he starts targeting and trying to eat Gorgo. Another one I could definitely see is Diablos, the fan favorite. And obviously this is just a fire-breathing, is he a Tyrannosaur or an Allosaur? I gotta wonder about that. But yeah, Diablos definitely is a good matchup for Gorgo as well. Now, Gorgo doesn't really have any other hacks and abilities in the comics. Now, I know in the movie she does have her like acid breath, so they're, I guess you could say that if I give them that, they can definitely have a long range attack. But considering the fact that they can just tank everything and in all honesty be like every other monster, kind of just charge through and just hope for the best. Plus, it's a 2-on-1 with even Gorgo, the baby, being able to get some action as well. So, believe it or not, yeah, they're the third best on this list. But now let's move on to the second and possibly the most, comfortable on this list, in my opinion. Now, next off, we have Ursafu. All right, and this guy at number 2 definitely would make the most sense. I mean, come on. It's one of the greatest martial arts Pokemon out there. And you can easily get it to planetary based on its feats against Regice, Registeel, and the fact that he's just straight up pummeling them. And I mean, look what he does to Registeel. He just beats him into the wall. And considering the fact that it knows 2 different types of martial arts form, can also use a Gigantamax form as well, and even power itself up with multiple fighting and dark type moves like Shadow Claw, Close Combat, Bulk Up as well. So, yeah, the earth-shattering attacks and stuff is going to be quite normal for him. And Ursafu is also in a same skill level, if not superior skill level, to these monsters. And in all honesty, I don't think any of these monsters here really have the same capability as Ursafu to really be a... Well, they are master martial arts in their own right, but again, Ursafu is just on a different level. While they may be masters, Ursafu would be seen as a god, in my opinion. I mean, sure, you got the fact that these monsters can do just about anything, utilizing their hacks and abilities in combination. But keep in mind, Pokemon can do that as well. There's no way you can tell me that, these guys are just going to compete with something like a Heracross in terms of combining powers and abilities along with martial arts prowess. I mean, that's kind of just how fighting types are. I mean, they're in fighting type Pokemon are. They're the most skilled Pokemon. They really are. They know every form of martial arts, from sumo wrestling, grappling, Krav Maga, and stuff like that, capoeira. These guys are just absolutely broken. And I think Urshifu, not only being one of the strongest fighting types in the verse, mind you, until we get a much stronger legendary Pokemon that's a fighting type, he's definitely going to run through the verse. Well, we can wrap this video up here now, can't we? Marvel rivals Hulk as the final monster on this list, right? And yeah, he's gonna run through this verse like a hot knife through butter. I mean, what can they do? I mean, we're talking about a guy that scales relative to the likes of Scarlet Witch and Magic. Both of these characters have multiple statements that they can easily destroy, or Scarlet Witch can destroy the multiverse, right? And Magic is literally the ruler of an entire dimension that has connection points to other points in the multiverse. So I want y'all to really, tell me what monster on this list is really going to rival Hulk at all? I mean, there's no way. There's really nothing. Wanda by herself could erase them from existence, right? Then you have Magic that could simply just shred them to pieces. Then there's Hulk, who has the strength and durability advantage on both. Let's not forget the faster than light capabilities, because he is able to react to the likes of daggers, light rays, or light based attacks and stuff. So yeah, these characters are it's pretty much over. I hate to say it, it really is. The fact that Hulk can also just go into his ultimate form once it's really charged up and increases overall strength and durability to where nobody could really match this guy, in all honesty, unless you're the Thing, because he does have like a kind of a counter to Hulk in a way. But and at the end of the day here, yeah, this guy just runs through the verse. But yeah, let's just wrap it up here, all right? So it's obvious that the Ice Titan does the worst because he doesn't have the speed nor the skill to keep up. Lunagaren is actually alright, it's just that he's just a little less skilled. Gorgo and Ogra are a simple tag team. Ursafu is just god when it comes to skill. And then there's Hulk, who's just simply dominating verse and making every god here his pet. So that's going to be all today, you guys. And yeah, you have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all for the next one.